Hi there. So today I wanted to do a PowerPoint presentation, and I thought I would start by doing a practice trial. So for anyone who's interested, this is a little workshop that I'm doing as a freebie, and I hope this helps anyone understand if they have any questions about energy healing and about changes to conscientiousness. So, how can energy influence our environment? So, to start, I wanted to talk about the history and evolution of the circumstances about energy and where it's stemming from right now. So, our ancient spirituality or philosophical teachings in human history is coming back to Earth. This is also called an energy shift. And basically, what's happened is that Earth right now has increased into a new energy. This is coming from the cosmos, from source. Some people call it God or a higher power. But basically, what it is, it's energy. So, to make it very simple, it's a scientific situation in our evolution. Now, this is a time of change where many people are going to be called to be awakened to these new energies, to follow their true life purpose. Now, what does this mean as well? People, oh, I don't believe in spirituality or philosophy about this, but this is science. It's about energy. People are being called to be awakened because it's a new energy that we're all being affected by. So, this awakening is actually just an energy influx into our physical lives. So, when did this awakening start for most people? Recently, I would say a few years before and after 2012, people were physically feeling the effects of this energy in a physical 3D manifestation. So, when this energy came to Earth, it was a slow period over several years before and after 2012. And in a physical reality, this energy is manifested through conflicts, endings, divorces, loved ones passing away, changes to career or lifestyles, etc. They also manifested globally through more intense changes, such as the internet revolution. People also call it the imagination age, where people are becoming more creative. So it's a very interesting time in our human evolution. And so, what does this change or manifest in our lives? Basically, what this energy transition is that it is bringing the past to become the present in our future. Meaning, the cause and effect of our past, present, and future are integrating as a whole. Now, people will be like, well, that's not possible. Well, this is exactly what the energy is doing. Our current world, that is based on a 3D dimension, is now awakening and shifting into a fourth and a fifth dimension. And what this is doing is actually creating cause and effect all integrated together as one. And as you can see in the diagram, these changes are quite complex, and the cause and the effect of each of the changes is much different than our 3D paradigm of time. where one cause causes the next effect and so forth. So I hope that explains how time is being viewed in our new era of evolution. So now I'm going to explain what a 3D world, fourth and fifth dimension means, how these changes are affecting these dimensions that we're currently living in, and how they're manifesting in our lives on a physical, emotional, or spiritual level. Because this energy just translates into those types of physical expressions. So Earth is known to have a high density. What that means is that the fourth and fifth dimensions have a hard time to shift the energy of people living in a third dimension. The third dimension focuses solely on the physical needs of the self. Therefore, we have a difficulty to integrate into a higher consciousness of the fourth and fifth dimensions because of this density. So when this energy comes into our third dimensional living, where we're only focusing on the self, we may be pursuing activities for materialism, status, wealth, power, and driven by the ego, such as fear, pride, ignorance, jealousy, arrogance, self-righteousness, and so forth. So in this third world living, it's this new energy that's coming. It's a positive healing energy that is counteracting this third dimensional living. And it's creating these types of conflicts and endings. And a lot of these effects that are happening to us physically are because it's trying to break down this third dimensional living. In a third dimension, it's also understood that we are individuals who are responsible for our own achievements. Now, that's not true. People who believe that still believe in a third dimensional lifestyle, but that's not reality. It's just an illusion of reality that we've been told to ourselves because of the density that we have living right now. In a fourth dimension, we focus on service to others. So a commitment to promoting others' achievements in a positive reality. Information is shared freely, hence the internet. You already see this fourth dimension through the internet. There's no more ego satisfaction. The ego, negative-based ego traits are being removed out of our lifestyles. You see lots of people awakening to personal journeys, for example. They're changing their life path. They might be going through some sort of crisis first in this awakening process in order to change where they need to go. Love is seen as a wholeness of oneness. Hence, you have all the yoga masters coming in. Lots of people are interested, and there's the trend in yoga and meditation and oneness as a whole. So you see that being manifested as well. And in a fourth dimensional living, it's understood that individuals are responsible for each other in a collective strive for community growth. So as you can see, the difference between the third and fourth dimensional living or lifestyle is that where people believe that we as individuals are responsible for our own achievements is no longer true or valid. It's that we are all collectively responsible. And if I go back to my previous slide when I talk about time and the cause and effect, where it went from a linear platform into a circular cause and effect, that's exactly what it means, is that the time of past, present, and future is all integrating as a whole. So basically, we as a collective are all responsible for the cause and effect of our lives. So it's all energy. If we want to look at it really simple, it's all about energy. And how do we talk about the fifth dimension? The fifth dimension is a higher state of living where one can change your energy and DNA. You can tap into collective consciousness to heal yourself and others simply by vibrating at a higher energy frequency. The key differences between the fourth and the fifth dimension is that it becomes more scientific and analytical. For instance, just your presence or energy frequency being at a higher vibration can raise others from lower frequencies. Example, people always say when the Dalai Lama is around, they feel his energy, even if they don't know that he came. And it's that simple, that if an individual is at a higher frequency, it's a basic balance where one person is at a higher frequency than you, then people can sense this energy. So a lot of the times, people who have been awakened earlier can also be bullied. They might be thought of as weird or different. And it's not because people actually consciously want to think that person is weird or different, but it's because they are sensing a difference in their energy. So when a person that comes into, your family, your life, your work, a new relationship that has a different energy than yours, then this is sensed by other people on an intuitive and subconscious level. And it has nothing to do with the physical manifestations that they believe they have. And I'll get into that a little bit later. So the next one, which is amazing, is that you can heal yourself and others by changing your DNA. And this brings me to the example that made me think of the movie, The Adjustment Bureau, where someone had a destiny to do something, and that there was this bureau, this fictional bureau that came in to try to readjust his destiny or life path because he went off course. So basically, this is a type of thing that we can now do when we tap into the fifth dimension. And you see that now in mind and body wellness practices increasing throughout our North America and actually globally. So it's quite amazing how we can readjust our energy through our DNA. Also, when someone is living in the fifth dimension or can tap into the fifth dimension, they receive a lot of divine cosmic messages. And these messages are basically a form of conduit that your body has become in order to relay information to other people. And it's the collective consciousness message. So when an individual is living in a fifth dimension, they have access to this collective conscious of oneness, of whole, of God, divine, cosmic, however you want to call it. And this higher energy frequency is using our physical body on Earth as a conduit to relay information. So how does that happen? How does this communication actually occur? I found it fascinating to look at it as a mirror. And I really think that it gives a practical way for people to understand how this energy is transmuted. So basically, if you look at an object or a mirror, we are all a self-reflection of each other. And this energy is a collective consciousness. So when you are looking in a mirror, you see an image of yourself. However, this is also relative to us looking at each other. We all mirror each other. So when someone tells you something poor about you or something positive about you, they're actually reflecting about you as a person, as a soul person, your true essence. And if they are reflecting back to you something, it has significance on your path or on your purpose. So our energy frequencies are reflected through others physically and through our emotional reactions. So an example of that, I'll make it quite simple. In a third dimensional living, where someone, let's say, is very greedy, and someone is living at a higher fourth or fifth dimensional state, and their energy is at a higher frequency than greed. But let's say someone's living at a lower energy and still believes in the illusion of greed. That individual will reflect back by saying, you will never be successful because you have no money. Now, that view is a view of greed, and this person is actually reflecting back to a higher energy that they have not yet accomplished in their own life. And when you communicate that information, that you will never be successful because you have no money, then the person who is communicating this message to a higher individual with a higher frequency, they are actually reflecting back to themselves. So it becomes sort of like a diamond where the communication is constantly reflected between each other. We are all connected. We are all a community. So these reflections and deflections are constantly reflected amongst each other. So Dr. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, I cannot say his last name, did a study on creating flow, which I found amazing, to describe further the psychological process that can occur for someone going through energy shifts in their lives, as we all are on this planet right now. And basically what happens is that when someone is in a state of flow, the state of flow is up here, okay? They are in a positive light state. So if you're in the fourth or in the fifth dimension, you're actually somewhere around here, okay? But you can go down into the lower frequencies over here if reflected or deflected with different energies within your environment. So if you are in a state of flow, you're happy, you're in control, everything just is moving as you will, your life path, your life purpose is exactly where it needs to go. Control and arousal is also positive. But once we get into the anxiety, worry, apathy, boredom, relaxation sections, it's not as positive. And he explains the reasons why for this. And in terms of energy, this basically is a great chart for somebody to use to understand the practical applications of how our energies impact each other and how someone from a lower energy vibration reflects back to someone else of a higher vibration. So if you are extremely relaxed, you may be reflecting or deflecting to others' anxiety. So people who you might find within your environment might develop anxiety because of your energy of relaxation. Or, for example, if you are in a state of flow and everything is moving within the direction that you want to go, and you are at such a higher level or frequency, this energy can reflect back to other people that are not in a state of flow as apathy. They may just go, well, I don't believe in that, or ignore you, or they might stop talking to you or be apathetic to what you're doing because they cannot connect with you because you're at a higher frequency. And the same goes if you are in a state of apathy. A person who is in a state of flow can make you feel apathetic yourself. So you always have to discern where you are yourself as an individual to find out what state you are in. And it's good. I think this chart is very good for that. So the doctor also made a short video on TED Talks about this, what makes a life worth living. Noting that money cannot make us happy, he looks to those who find pleasure and lasting satisfaction in activities that bring about a state of flow. Now, this state of flow is what I would call the fourth and fifth dimensional living, where your energy frequency is in flow with the universe. So your energy is in flow and you are deflecting back to others who are at lower vibrations to get to where you are. And they may experience these types of things about you, whereas the opposite might be true as well for someone else. So my conclusions: how energy can turn your prospects into opportunities. You can better address life changes and develop resilience, basically creating your own state of flow. Energy disharmony is simply an explanation for addressing life changes. Your energy may be at a lower, higher state or unbalanced to friends, family, coworkers, etc. We are all changing at a different rate. Our life paths are all at different states or stages. If your energy is in unbalance with someone else's, that's simply what it is. You just simply have a difference of energy frequency. So if you're an energy healer, your energy may be required to be a catalyst for others in order to increase their energy. So if you are in a state of flow and you are considered an energy healer, if you are at a higher vibration of the fourth or fifth dimension, the universe may be using you as a conduit or a catalyst for others in order to increase their energy to a more positive state. So physically, this is manifested also as changing friends or relationships, moving cities, and developing new careers. You literally might not be doing anything wrong within your relationships, careers, or having to move. It's just your energy is needed somewhere else in the world or within groups of people in order to increase their energy. So the universe is literally using you as a conduit or a catalyst in order to heal other people's energy. Because what the energy shift that I was telling you was happening in and around the years before and after 2012 is that it's trying to increase all our energy to a more positive state. So integrating our energies can manifest increased positive energy globally. So when we integrate these energies, studies show that our energies affect our realities. So hopefully, as we increase and develop changes to energy shifts, we can change our third dimensional living into fourth and fifth dimensions. And for more information and examples, I attached here an amazing video that further explains how someone can heal their energy, why they may be at a higher frequency than you, and just simply to understand that people are at different energy levels, and that the experiences of lower thoughts and actions that we have amongst each other may be simply explained as a disharmony of energy or a difference of energy between ourselves. So instead of creating conflict or being very upset with any endings or changes in our lives, we can just simply define it as, oh, well, that's a change or difference of our energy level, and leave it at that. So I hope this helped anyone on their journey. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. This is the little practice run for me. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I hope you can all remember that everything is energy. We are all one. We are all collective.